Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Pucking Mad podcast. I'm joined today by Ross Murray of the Solway Sharks. Ross, would you like to introduce yourself? Probably you could do a better job than me, I think.
Yeah, hi. I'm Ross Murray, player coach for the Solway Sharks. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, simple one. Yeah, that's it. That's great. Honestly, thank you so much for coming on, Ross. With the cup final coming up, I really appreciate your time. I think it's first just to talk about like kind of your history, your experience, because you're one of the more experienced players in the
Yeah.
Solway team. Like how's that kind of working, and how does that affect your role within the Solway?
Uh, yeah, definitely feel old this year compared to some of the other guys in the team. Uh, a lot slower as well, I've got to say, compared to some of them now. The young guys coming through, they seem to be able to skate for days and they're rapid in that. But yeah, just try to pass on my experience and kind of help the young guys. I do a bit of coaching as well with the junior setup, so I enjoy that. And it's just kind of try to enjoy my final couple of years of playing and still be competitive and make sure that it kind of means a lot as long as I can make sure it's in a good place when I kind of decide when to hang the skates up. And yeah, but it's sometimes, I wouldn't say hard, but you do notice that you're slowing down and these young guys coming through, and you just got to try to teach them, like, winning ways, good habits. We always go on a solid about small details, always getting them right. So yeah, it's kind of just trying to get them to understand that, yeah, you might be able to, you know, skate fast, shoot hard and that, but if you don't actually know where you're going or when to shoot the puck or when to do stuff, then that's no really a winning way.
Yeah, really cool. It's probably a misplaced question, given that we're two questions into you're talking about your skating career and your.
Yeah.
But is it something you want to stay involved in at the end?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I want to try to play as long as I can, but I think there's a time where you kind of end up doing everything in the sport at the level you kind of, and I'm getting towards that where I've set goals and I've kind of ticked them all off now. And the coaching side, sometimes I've said this on before to other people. I actually enjoy coaching more than I enjoy playing sometimes, so it's more rewarding. So definitely, I want to be still in the sport after I stop playing.
Yeah, that's really awesome. I think it's quite a nice thing that that's the case, and it's one of the things that seems to be really cool about Solway Sharks is that there's a real focus on youth and like kind of clearly having players coming in and coaching the youth setup and things is a really highly valued thing there, which seems really awesome actually as a thing. Yeah, that's really cool. And if we can jump back to the beginning of your career, you spent some time
Yeah,
in Canada. you know,
yeah.
can you just shed some light on that? Sort of talk about what that experience was, how it was, and what the benefits were, if there were any. I don't know.
Basically, I had an old coach up there, Kevin Docherty, and he kind of set me up with a couple of teams to go out and play in that. Don't get me wrong, it was really good. It was a good experience. Uh, Playing wise, looking back on it now, Canada kind of look after their own athletes. I found that out pretty quick. It's Hockey Canada. I don't know if it's changed now, but Hockey Canada kind of keep it shut on themselves. They look after their own athletes, and so I had to go down like playing what they called at the time like an outlaw league. So it wasn't actually registered to Hockey Canada. It kind of ran itself. It was full of a lot of Europeans. They still had Americans and Canadians in it, but it wasn't as good as level as what Hockey Canada was producing in that. But yeah, I mean, it was good to kind of live that hockey lifestyle of being on the ice every day and working out every day and playing 60 games in a year. It was good, but I kind of quickly realised that it wasn't going to come to anything, and it was a matter of 2 years out there was enough, and to come back. And I think it helped my game. It helped me grow up as a person as well, being halfway across the world at such a young age, and it made me grow up and kind of realise what I wanted to do in life. So it just didn't help me. It helped me with hockey. It also helped me to grow up as well.
Yeah, that's awesome in that respect then. And obviously 29. I think nowadays you've probably got a good few seasons left if you want.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, to be honest, well, that was going to be my next question, but we could skip that one if you want. Is what are the plans for the rest of your career? Have you got any
Yeah,
expectations, or is it just take it each game as it comes?
yeah. Just I've always thought 30 was a nice number to kind of. I've always said that even when I was in my early 20s, that 30 was a decent number. But every time I get closer to it, I always say I can maybe play longer, and people tell me play as long as you can. It just depends. I think it depends on personal circumstances as well. I've recently I've got I've had a baby with my missus, so he's 1 and a bit now. So it's about it's a lot of commitment going to Solihull, Nottingham, and all these bits, and it depends what happens to the Sharks as well. Obviously there's rumours about the National League and stuff like that, but it just depends if I think I can still do a job or not within the team. And if that job's coaching, then I'll go down that coaching route. If it's still playing, I'll more than happy to still play.
Yeah, that's nice in that respect. I suppose it's like you say, take it game by game and
Yeah,
see what comes out of it. Yeah. Um, with Solway, I'll avoid the National League thing for now, because it's a controversial topic, and it's something
yeah,
I don't like getting involved too much in the politics of it.
yeah,
Because no, we'll avoid that one. But Solway Sharks generally are on form. I mean, no disrespect to any team in the league, but you're winning by rugby scores sometimes. On a regular basis. The standard appears to be much higher. What would you say the reasons are for that success? That kind of big jump in the league, or against big jump in quality in the league, perhaps.
probably one guy, Martin Grubb, Spud. He holds us accountable at a high standard. So sometimes just winning a game isn't good enough. He always wants us to win in the right way. Uh, it's relentless sometimes, that the way he's got us going, and just our mindset is it's always winning the right way, and we're more than happy. Like he says all the time, if we play hockey his way and we get beat, it's on him. So he's kind of he's just a really good coach, basically. He's the mind side, the playing side, the tactic side, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's down to him, and we've got a good committee behind us as well, and just all the boys buy in. I think that's the thing when people from outside the town come to Solway, and they end up enjoying it that much, is because there's not one person pulling in the wrong direction. Everybody's pulling in the right direction, and it works. We've proved it works. It looks like we're going to go on to win our 5th league title in the league. So people can't argue with our system we've got.
Yeah, it's definitely like you say. As you can probably tell from my accent, I've said this enough now. It's not a very funny joke, I know, but I'm not from the town. But I've been to a couple of games, and
Yeah,
one thing that strikes me is that it's a special place. And
yeah,
particularly when you consider again, no disrespect to the league, but the league it's in, it seems like a bigger thing than the league. Which is really quite special. It's amazing, frankly. Obviously Martin's got a lot of respect from
yeah,
all over the place. I spoke to Tom Brown, the goalie for the Billingham Stars yesterday, to try and just have a chat with him, and we spoke about Martin, and I was thinking, oh, is he going to give some sort of try and disrespect him a bit of mind games before the big cup final? Nothing. He couldn't
no,
say nice. Couldn't say anything bad about him. Absolutely, completely respectful with him. So it was amazing. His reach is incredible. Obviously, when it comes to getting these sorts of successes, Martin's there. What about maintaining these winning ways? Is it all Martin as well, would you say? Or are there things that players individually take responsibility for to maintain this?
I just think it's every player, they kind of want to keep building on that success.
Yeah.
So it's like obviously last year we won three trophies.
Yes.
So it's this year we want to go one further. We want to do the Grand Slam, and it's just that it's like the Solway way. Like we want to dominate kind of thing, and it's just been drummed into us. And every player what comes, I think players want to come to Solway because they want to win silverware. So yeah, it's a mixture of Martin and then a mixture of the boys as well, just being so relentless and wanting to try just dominate the sport at this level.
Yeah, it's awesome. And with the fans as well, something that I noticed when I was there that it was just every aspect of, and the biggest thing that sticks out, I think, for a spectator is the fans. Outside of the style of play and things like that you get Solway. How important are the fans when it comes to the team? Would you say that you'd keep knocking it out of the park without them, or are they important?
Well, what's actually been good this year is the fans seem to be. There's a whole bunch of new fans, old fans. It seems to be the busiest it used to be. Now, I remember when the Sharks used to be in the Northern League before the NIHL days.
Yeah.
Against Fife Dundee, we had quite a good following back then as well, and it kind of died off a bit when we joined ENL2, and it seems to be getting back after COVID and all that. It seems that all of a sudden everybody wants to be there. There's a wee buzz around the town. We're getting a real good name around the town now. Everybody, it's funny to say, but there's actually coming up to some players in Tesco's and recognising them and stuff like that. So it's good. Like, we wouldn't say we celebrities, but people are starting to recognise us, and we'd be nothing without the fans. Nobody wants to play in front of an empty building, and it's one of those, like, it's like, no disrespect, but like Sheffield, obviously they're the third tier team in the kind of in their area, and it's, you turn up to that big arena and all of a sudden there's maybe 50 fans, if most. It's just no atmosphere, no nothing, and it's hard, and it must be hard for them and not to turn out week in, week out and do it. But yeah, you notice the difference when there's no fans.
Yeah, it's true. It is true. It's quite interesting. Talking of kind of fan bases and how important they are, I'm going to jump back to a question that I've missed, and it's about your season at Whitley. I'm sure you're probably anxiously waiting for this question after we. But can we talk about that? Because I mean, Whitley is one of those teams where, like, I can imagine that when you're playing with them, it's great when you're at home as well and things like that. But and then probably now you're going back there, it must be a bloody nightmare.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that season that you had at Whitley?
Yeah, but obviously Whitley's always been a place I've loved, even playing against them. It was always a game I enjoyed. It was always fast, hard, fans on top here. Like, I'm one of those players who I kind of like to be hated. I think it's well known that. I mean, I know I've been recently quiet this year, but I've always been that player who kind of, I thrive off fans booing me and whatever, a bit of atmosphere, So, but yeah, my time at Whitley, it was good. My uncle and my dad were so involved with the Sharks for so long, and it just kind of came up that they weren't involved anymore. And at the time, I wasn't necessarily enjoying my hockey that much. So I was looking for a change, and it was just to kind of answer some personal questions in my head to myself. If, have I won all these trophies because I've been with the Sharks all the time? Can I play? Is it because my family's been involved? So I kind of just wanted to go away and enjoy it myself. Look, before it was always hockey was always, it was mixed in with my family life and everything. There was a chance for me to just get away, keep my head down, and kind of reinvent myself a wee bit and see if I could do it kind of on my own 2 feet. And I've got no complaints about Whitley. I thoroughly enjoyed my time there. The fans were great. Yeah, obviously we won the league that year as well, so that was kind of icing on the cake. And yeah, I really enjoyed myself, and it helped me personally, and it helped me hockey wise.
Yeah, it's awesome. I can imagine that the Whitley fans, particularly if that was what you were wanting, they probably weren't going to be shy when it comes to feedback if you didn't do the business for them, which is, yeah. And obviously, I think with Solway, there's a particular style of play which kind of has been a theme, I think, for a long time, and it's just kind of got better and better. Obviously, with Whitley, there's this old school kind of force the puck into the back of the net.
Yeah.
Like, how was that adapting to that sort of change of style? Did it complement you, do you feel, or how was that?
Yeah, I mean, I found it pretty easy to go to that style of hockey. That's kind of the player I am already. I'm more dump and chase, play the body, just make a nuisance of myself. So it's quite easy to fit into that environment. And do that. You know, like Lobby kind of showed me a couple of things as well when I was down there, and kind of helped my game. And yeah, and next thing I know, I'm putting the puck in the back of the net more and stuff like that. So it was,
Yeah,
it was good.
no, it's a really cool thing. There's a lot to be said for that sort of thing. I think maybe having different opportunities and going to different places, it really must be really cool. One of the kind of things that we'll move on to is the cup final, if that's all right.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about it? It's just around the corner this weekend, 2 days, I think. How are you feeling?
Yeah, just business as usual. You know, there's not much more really to say than that. We've been in this situation before. Yeah, just business. You know, that's one thing we've got. That's all we know how to deal with this business. End of the year, we all call it the business end. We're all dialed in, all focused. You know, I know there's been a bit of noise on social media about the informed team, Billingham, but you know, we don't listen to that. We look after ourselves, and we just take it a period at a time. And you know, our history does. You know, our history speaks for itself.
Definitely, yeah, that's it. It is quite interesting the way social media seems to have really kind of this cup final has captured people's imagination, actually, which is it can only be a great thing for the sport in general, but particularly for this league, which I think is gaining more and more interest. And it's really cool to see that there's that level of kind of competitive or that kind of competitive nature within it.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. It's good. I'm happy for Billingham. You know, they seem to be, and I don't say that much. You know, everybody kind of knows that I'm not the biggest fan of Billingham. We've been through a few things in our time, but I'm happy for them. You know, they've developed really well, and you know, they say our young team, they're just as young as us, like, but they've done well to get where they are. They seem to be, they've got over that kind of Whitley thing now, where they seem to be beating them the last couple of fixtures. So it's good, and I'm happy for them that they're coming with full confidence. I wouldn't have it any other way, and I hope it's a good game. I hope it's a close game, and no doubt in anybody's mind who is the better team, and Solway will come out on top. I'm sure of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I could have tried to be neutral. I could imagine so, but it's one of those really like, yeah, look, you're right. The history really does speak for it itself, and like you are right. Like Billingham has done an insane job. I think particularly, obviously, whereas Solway, I feel this has just been a long-term project, really. Like with Billingham, it seems to have just come on leaps and bounds in the last 18 months. I don't know what the hell's gone on there, but it's just something seems to have clicked, and it's really quite amazing. With the cup final in mind, are there any kind of special processes, or is there anything that you as a team do to prepare for this that's extra, or is it, like you say, business as usual, nothing changed?
Yeah, just business as usual. You know, I don't think any player that's all really needs to change what they're doing. It's like I say, it's, but you know, some boys might do some stuff different to get hyped up for it, but most of us know what we're doing, and I keep saying it's just literal business as usual.
That's really cool. And as I can imagine, as a more experienced player like yourself, what is your role to keep people calm, keep people down to earth, keep people relaxed when it comes to this sort of fixture, or do you think every player seems to be able to do that themselves?
Yeah, I mean, it's just reminding a couple of players not to grip their sticks too hard, not to not get. I mean, emotion is a good thing, but emotion in the right way is the right. You know, it needs to be in the right way. You know, some boys can get too emotional, and you know they might not make a good pass, and it kind of you'll end up getting in their head or whatever it is. So it's just a reminder that it's just a game.
Yeah,
it's just a standard game. You know, we've been here before. We've played with pressure. Just take it a period at a time, and we'll be fine.
Yeah, that's great. Ross, mate, I just want to say thank you so much for coming on. I'll leave you to. I'm sure you're busy enough as it is without having me coming to speak to me. So thank you so much, mate. I really
no problem. Spot on. Brilliant. Thank you.